Welcome back, everybody. I'm glad you joined us for Spectrum today. How many of you like to sing? I would love to know what your favorite song is. Well, let's see if we're going to sing it today.
Good morning, everybody. Let's get ready to sing some songs.
When you're jumping up and down, when you're spinning round and round, God's seeing everything you do. He's watching over you. Hey, God is watching over you. 24/7, watching over you. Your life is in His hands, whoa, whoa. He's got great big plans, 'cause He's watching over you. When you're waving your hands up in the air, when you're shouting, whoa, no matter when or where, God's seeing everything you do. He's watching over you. God is watching over you. 24/7, watching over you. Your life is in His hands, whoa, whoa. He's got great big plans, 'cause He's watching over you. God is watching over you. 24/7, watching over you. Life is in His hands, whoa, whoa. He's got great big plans. God is watching over you. 24/7, watching over you. Your life is in His hands, whoa, whoa. He's got great big plans, 'cause He's watching over you. Surrounded, your love is everywhere and I'm surrounded. It's got me singing, hey, it's got me shouting, oh, and now I want to tell the world about it. Now I am alive, yeah, you opened up my eyes. Everywhere I look, I see your love for me. It makes me want to lift my hands and dance and sing, oh, 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 your love for me. No matter where I go, I know you're there for me. Oh, 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 your love for me. Oh, 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 surrounded. Your love is everywhere and I'm surrounded. It's got me singing, hey, got me shouting, oh, and now I want to tell the world about it. Now I am alive, yeah, you opened up my eyes. Everywhere I look, I see your love for me. It makes me want to lift my hands and dance and sing, oh, 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 your love for me. No matter where I go, I know you're there for me. Oh, 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 your love for me. Oh, 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 now I am alive, yeah, you opened up my eyes. Everywhere I look, I see. Now I am alive, yeah, you opened up my eyes. Everywhere I look, I see your love for me. It makes me wanna lift my hands and dance and sing, oh, 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 your love for me. No matter where I go, I know you're there for me. Oh, 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 your love for me. It makes me wanna lift my hands and dance and sing, oh, 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 your love for me. No matter where I go, I know you're there for me. Oh, 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 your love for me. Oh, 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 your love for me. Oh, oh, oh. The world is searching for an answer, a ray of hope in a hopeless world. Who can answer. He's the light and he'll light the way. His name is Jesus. He came to save us. He is the light, 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 light of the world, and he shines, shines, shines all over the earth, shining bright, bright, bright. He is the light of the world. He is the light, 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 light of the world, and he shines, shines, shines all over the earth, shining bright, bright, bright. He is the light of the world. Searching for an answer, a ray of hope in a hopeless world. Who can we turn to? Where is our rescue? There is someone, he's the answer. He's a light and he'll light the way. His name is Jesus, and he came to save us. He is the light, 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 light of the world, and he shines, shines, shines all over the earth, shining bright, bright, bright. He is the light of the world. He is the light, 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 light of the world, and he shines, shines, shines all over the earth, shining bright, bright, bright. He is the light of the He is the light, 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 light of the world, and he shines, shines, shines all over the earth, shining bright, bright, bright. He is the light of the world.
That was awesome, everybody. Let's go up and listen to the message.
Good singing, you guys. Well, today I want to read you a story because we're going to be starting a new series in Spectrum. It's going to be called God Says What? So you'll have to wait till next week to find out even more about it. But for today, we want to talk about where do we find out what God says? Where can we find that out? Well, we read the Bible, of course. That always tells us what God says. But even though we know what God says, who do we listen to? That's an important question, isn't it? Once we find out what God says, do we listen to that or do we listen to other people? So whose words are more important? That's a good question. Well, let me think. Is it God's words or somebody else's words? We need to figure out whose words stick. And that's what our story is about this morning. This is one of my favorite books. This is called You Are Special. And I think we're going to read it this morning to find out whose words stick. All right, it's called You Are Special by Max Lucado. Do you remember this one? Have you read this one before? It's all about these funny little people called the Wemmicks. The Wemmicks were small wooden people. All of the wooden people were carved by a wood carver named Eli. His workshop sat on a hill overlooking their village. Each Wemmick was different. Some had big noses, others had large eyes, some were tall and some were short. Some wore hats and others wore coats, but all were made by the same carver and they all lived in the same village. And all day, every day, the Wemmicks did the same thing. They gave each other stickers. I wonder what kind of stickers they gave each other. Each Wemmick had a box of golden star stickers. That'd be exciting. And a box of gray dot stickers. That wouldn't be so exciting. Up and down the streets, all over the city, people spent their days sticking stars or dots on one another. The pretty ones, those with smooth wood and fine paint, they always got stars. But if the wood was rough and the paint was chipped, the Wemmicks gave them dots. Oh dear. The talented ones got stars too. Some could lift big sticks high above their heads and jump over very tall boxes. Still others knew big words and they could sing pretty songs. Everybody gave them stars. Some Wemmicks had stars all over them. Every time they got a star, it made them feel so good. I think it would make me feel good too. It made them want to do something else to get another star. Others, though, could do little, and they got dots. That's a little sad, isn't it? Punchinello was one of these. He tried to jump high like the others, but he always fell. And when he fell, the others would gather around and give him dots. Can you imagine? Not only did he fall, he got dots on top of that. Sometimes when he fell, his wood got scratched, so people would give him more dots. Then when he would try to explain why he fell, he would end up saying something silly, and the Wemmicks, they would give him more dots. After a while, he had so many dots that he didn't want to go outside. He was afraid he would do something dumb, such as forget his hat or step in the water, and then people would give him another dot. In fact, he had so many gray dots that some people would come up to him and give him a gray dot for no reason at all. Oh, gosh, poor little Punchinello. He deserved lots of dots, the wooden people would agree with one another. He's not a good wooden person. After a while, Punchinello believed them. I'm not a very good Wemmick, he would say. A few times he went outside, he hung around the Wemmicks, who had lots of dots, and he felt better around them. Poor Punchinello. One day he met a Wemmick who was unlike any he'd ever met. She had no dots and no stars. She was just wooden, and her name was Lucia. It wasn't that people didn't try to give her stickers, it's just that the stickers didn't stick. Some of the Wemmicks admired Lucia for having no dots, so they would come up and give her a star, but it would fall off. Others would look down on her for having no stars, so they would try and give her a dot, but it wouldn't stay or stick either. That's the way I want to be, thought Punchinello. I don't want anyone's marks. So he asked the stickerless Wemmick how she did it. Oh, it's easier, Lucy replied. Every day I go and see Eli. Eli? Yes, Eli, the wood carver. I sit in the workshop with him. Why? Said Punchinello. Why don't you find out for yourself? Go up the hill, he's up there. And with that, the Wemmick, who had no stickers, turned and skipped away. What do you think Punchinello's going to do? But will he want to see me? Punchinello cried out. Lucia didn't hear, so Punchinello went home. He sat near a window and watched the wooden people as they scurried about, giving each other stars and dots. It's not right, he muttered to himself, and he decided to go and see Eli. He walked up the narrow path to the top of the hill and stepped into the big shop. His wooden eyes widened at the size of everything. The stool was as tall as he was. He had to stretch on his tippy toes to see the top of the workbench. A hammer was as long as his arm. Punchinello swallowed hard. I'm not staying here, and he turned to leave. Then he heard his name. Punchinello? The voice was deep and strong, so Punchinello stopped. Punchinello, how good to see you. Come and let me have a look at you. Punchinello turned slowly and looked at the large bearded craftsman. You know my name? The little Wemmick asked. Of course I do. I made you. Eli stooped down and picked him up and set him on the bench. The maker spoke thoughtfully as he looked at all the gray dots. Looks like you've been given some bad marks. I didn't mean to, Eli. I really tried hard. Oh, you don't have to defend yourself to me, child. I don't care what the other Wemmicks think. You don't? No, and you shouldn't either. Who are they to give stars or dots? They're Wemmicks just like you. What they think doesn't matter, Punchinello. All that matters is what I think, and I think you are pretty special. Punchinello laughed. Me? Special? Why? I can't walk fast. I can't jump. My paint is peeling. Why do I matter to you? Eli looked at Punchinello and put his hands on those small wooden shoulders and spoke very softly and slowly. Because you're mine. That's why you matter to me." Punchinello had never had anyone look at him like this, much less his maker. He didn't know what to say. "Every day I've been hoping you'd come," Eli explained. "Well, I came because I met someone who had no marks," said Punchinello. "I know, she told me about you." "Why don't the stickers stay on her?" The maker spoke softly. "Because she has decided that what I think is more important than what they think. The stickers only stick if you let them." "What?" "The stickers only stick if they matter to you. The more you trust my love, the less you care about their stickers." "I'm not sure I understand," said Punchinello. Eli smiled. "You will, but it'll take some time. You've got a lot of marks. For now, just come and see me every day and let me remind you how much I care." Eli lifted Punchinello off the bench and set him on the ground. "Remember," Eli said as the Wemmick walked out the door, "you are special because I made you, and I don't make mistakes." Punchinello didn't stop, but in his heart he thought, "I think he really means it." And when he did, a dot fell to the ground. The end. Wasn't that a good story? That is one of my favorites. Well, we're going to pick this up again next week. But before we do, I want you to think of a couple of answers to a couple of questions I have. The first one is, in this story, who do you think Eli is? Think about that. Who is Eli like? The second one is, does he sound like a nice man to spend time with? Think about that one. And lastly is, how can Punchinello stop those stars and dots from sticking to him? See if you know the answers to those questions from that book. Let me pray for you, okay? Father, I thank you for the kids this morning. And I thank you that you're our maker and that you made us and love us and that we're very special to you. And I pray, Lord, over the next couple of weeks that we'll understand exactly how you think about us, even through this story this morning. So I just bless the kids today and pray that they'd have a great week. In Jesus' name, amen. So see you next week, and we're going to continue on God Says What? You come back and we'll find out together.